We're here with David Glenn of the Glenn Commercial Group here in Joplin. This is Wally Kennedy with the Joplin Globe newspaper. David, you have a history with this building, and you worked on it many years ago to try to restore it. Tell us why this building, this depot, is so special, so important.
Well, it's truly a historic building for the city of Joplin. I mean, you know, there's a lot of historic buildings here that were built in the early 1900s, but this is very definitely one of the most prominent historic buildings. It was designed by a famous architect out of Kansas City called Lewis Curtis, and this building just needs to be preserved. Right there is where they used to have a clock. And that, you know, you can see a great big clock with the arms, you know, showing the old-fashioned arms, showing the time. When you first walked in, you looked at a clock. It's solid concrete. What you see on the surface is a stucco material that's coated on the concrete, but that whole entire building is poured in place concrete. The walls, the roof, the second floor. This is what I'm talking about. This is one of the test holes that was drilled, and then see how thick that concrete is?
Wow.
You know, and that's about 6 inches. And I mean, warehouses are poured 4 to 5 inches thick, and this is like 6 inches, and it's reinforced concrete. You know what would be perfect for you guys is if a train came by, because it's the main line track for Burlington Northern is right there.
Yeah.
And then see, there used to be a spur that came out where the pavement is right here, and you could, the spur actually, the train went underneath, well, the tracks are still there, underneath that enclosure right there, and people would walk underneath the roof and board the passenger train right underneath that structure. I mean, it's been 22 years ago before anybody really did any work on it. There was a company out of Fort Scott, Kansas that put new stucco on the building. Of course, that's 22 years ago, so it's now weathered, and vandals have come in and spray painted a lot of it, and so it needs to be cleaned up, but there's nothing, there's a brand new roof on it. That roof is 22 years old, but it's an extremely good roofing material. So there have been some great improvements made, but that's not seen by the normal public because they look at a building that appears to them, to the public, that it's deteriorated, but structurally it's very sound. This building renovated would pull people off of the interstate. I mean, you could put signs on the interstate, visit the historic Joplin Union Depot, and people would come in just to see this building.